It's when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I, for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. That we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. Man, I'll tell you, I'm glad that it's the end of the week. I'm telling you, this way we're going into the abyss, if you will. It's tiring because it seems, like I've said many times, it seems so slow. Now I say that, and that I know one day will come to bite me in the ass when things don't move so slow. So, but there's just a lot of stuff that I think many of us have been watching, and not a lot of movement, I mean, not as far as big moves. And of course, I'm talking about the obvious, the common things like the economy and stuff like that. We don't want big moves, but at the same time, it's almost like with this slow transition, it almost seems like for many people that it's kind of either wearing them down or out or both. And when I say wearing out, I don't necessarily just mean like in a physical type of manner, but I mean also in possibly supplies or what have you. There are individuals that, from whenever they had to resort to it, there are individuals that over the course of the last few years actually had to rely on their preps, the stuff they had stored back, just to get by. And I really don't have any clue of what's going on right now in the financial markets. And when I say that, well, I don't know financial markets, but when I say that, I'm talking about what's going through people's minds. Because, and I've mentioned this before, I don't know, there was this week that it was a headline about the highest amount of U.S. credit card debt. And there's a lot of people using that credit. And the future doesn't look good. Those banks, those institutions that lent that money's going to want their money. And I have a feeling that it's not going to be there in a near enough future that money is just, much of it's going to go away. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be saddled with huge, enormous amounts of debt and just absolutely zero way at all to be able to rectify it. And I really see that in our future. We are facing just crisis upon crisis upon crisis, and it almost seems like it's in every area. You take the jobs market, for instance, and holy cow. So what all the COVID stuff didn't take out as far as businesses was concerned, what was left over, most companies were pretty hurt, pretty battered. And I'm glad to see that some of them have been able to make it through it. But I don't know what the percentages or the numbers are, but it was insane, the amount of jobs that were lost over that period of time. And then now, things aren't getting really better on many different fronts that would involve businesses. Like, for instance, the supply chains aren't completely squared away. Inflation, of course, on just about any goods. So anything that you purchase to manufacture or make or whatever it is that you do, you have higher prices with that. Well, then you're going to have to charge higher prices to your consumers or customers. It's not a choice. Saw that a lot with restaurants, especially over the course of the last couple of years. A lot of restaurants have had to really start marking up some of their offerings because they just couldn't do it. Some restaurants had to quit carrying some stuff because it just wasn't feasible to pay the prices for it, and then in turn expect customers to pay those kind of prices for it. They knew it wasn't feasible, it wasn't practical, so they just took things off the menu. And that's looking at the financial markets and the jobs markets and the debt. That's just one area. That's the part that's kind of freaky to me. Just one area. And it's in the economy, jobs, and the whole nine is in a downward spiral. And I don't think there's any way it can be pulled out. I mean, come on. What is our national debt? I mean, it's just, it's stupid at this point to expect that we could ever come out of that. I assure you there will be some kind of reset. Like it or not, it's coming. And I can assure you there's a really good chance that we're going to get the short end of that stick. And I have a feeling that most every bitty ounce of freedom will be gone along with that reset. They're working hard at it. Some of the news stories I see scare the hell out of me. Some of the things that some people, a lot of times in other nations, it's this stuff for the most part isn't happening here yet, at least not en masse, but just people arrested for the different things over there. What was there was somebody they were doing, it was the most minor thing in the world, and it was like a pretty violent arrest, really. And we have seen that here. I've seen people literally violently arrested in Washington, D.C. for dancing at the Lincoln Memorial, and you can find many videos of that on YouTube. And some of those encounters are pretty damn violent. And for what, again? Here's the part on that subject that really gets me. We are supposed to operate under something called the spirit of the law, the intent of the law. And basically what that says is that the government isn't supposed to be able to use laws to harass us. They're not supposed to be able to use laws to seek us out, to select us out, so to speak. They're not supposed to be able to use the laws to do any of that. But here they are, every day, day in, day out. It's literally their job. That's not going to get any better. So you've got tyrannical rule problems, because that's what that is, folks, whether it's down to your local police department or whether it's in the presidential administration. Tyranny, folks, is afoot from the top to the bottom. That is really not a good indicator for a nation. Once the common populace starts to see a hell of a lot of injustice going on, they get a little restless. Like when they start to run low on food, people get a little restless. UK, it's in the news tonight. The UK is rationing I think it's vegetables. So it's not like this, and that's the UK. We're not talking about Ethiopia here. But then we got this war issue. And I don't even know where to begin on that, what to think about that. It blows my mind more and more each and every day. I sit and think about it. The thought of nuclear conflict was not on my radar for decades. That shit ended in the late 90s or late 80s, early 90s. As far as me mentally, you know, they tore down the wall. Everything seemed to calm down quite a bit. And it really didn't seem like anything anymore that was something we should be concerned with. And it's kind of a shock to the system, to be honest, to sit here now. And you got to understand my chair I'm sitting in, okay? Do we have preps for radiation? Not a damn bit. not a damn bit. We don't have any potassium iodate, if I got the right one. We don't have any of that. We don't have any types of gas masks. The only thing, and I don't even have much tape, and that's like vital. Like duct tape is like vital. Now, the one thing I do have is I do have some like the plastic drop cloth sheeting, just the plastic sheeting that painters use for drop cloth. I do have an unopened roll of that. But without the tape to tape it up, it's like tits on a board, It's just not going to do you much good. It is what it is. And I sit there and I think about it. And let's be clear. I had to joke a little bit. I believe it was with Leol. I was joking about the level of toast. And it would depend on how big of an exchange took place as to where we live. Per the map, and I've actually got it here. I'll shoo it to you. Shoo it to you. Hang on. I have a sip of coffee. So here's the map. And, we are right in this area. Actually, we're like technically right the hell there where the minus is on the magnifying glass. So, now, I don't know if this black splotch here, and I could probably identify it if I looked, but it is what it is. I don't know if this black dot here, if that is going to be the Caffeine nuclear power plant, or if that's going to be the oil reserves at Patoka, because one of the nation's largest oil storage facilities is in a town called Patoka. And from my understanding, that's the target, as well as I figure that the Caffeine power plant would probably be a target because, isn't the idea to make everything glow? So, we've got those, and then I'm believing that this one right here is probably representative of Scott Air Force Base. And then you have some other sites here. I have no idea what these other sites are. Now, these black dots are represented. Come over here to the legend, because this is legend. The black dots indicate targets in a 2,000 warhead scenario. So that's the black dots. Now in a 500 warhead scenario, there is a purple triangle. The stars are state capitals. These squares are cities. And if we go back in my area, we see two purple triangles right at St. Louis. And those will be the ones that'll get us. Because, well, we just happen to be about 30 miles northeast of St. Louis. So, literally, like where the minus sign is on the magnifying glass on your screen. That, I think you see the, I think you do. Anyway, that is exactly where we're at. So, even in a 500 warhead scenario, we're not going to be feeling very well. I don't know that we'd make it a week. I mean, we probably wouldn't survive the blast. I mean, we probably would. I'm sorry. If it was St. Louis that was hit, you know, we're 30 miles out. So 30, 35 miles as the crow flies. So the blast probably won't take us out, but we probably won't make it past a week, I would say. And that's just my guess. And I'm a realistic person. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm not trying to be, oh, woe is me. It is what it is. This is why it is something that, yeah, hell yeah, it concerns me. I thought we were done with this nonsense. But apparently not. It frustrates me because they've got so many frickin' weapons at their disposal. Really? They've got directed energy weapons to where they could make damn sure that the only ones that felt the hit was the military. They could do it where damn near not a single civilian would ever lose their life. But no, they want to talk about nukes. Ever since I was a child, I have said something, and I stand behind it to this day. I always felt that if two governments have an issue with one another, they need to lock themselves up inside of a room and beat the hell out of one another until one of them is declared the winner. And that is that. Leave the population alone. Leave the civilians alone. Don't draw from them to send them to die in combat. No. You, as the government, got a problem with them as the government? Well, then you go fight your own damn battles. Quit killing innocent people. I don't know. I'm not a tree hugger hippie or nothing like that. But right is right, wrong is wrong. Common sense is common sense. I don't know. To me, life is supposed to be simple when it comes to this type of stuff. You know? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I think it's something that we need to probably have on our radar. And I don't say that to fearmonger or anything like that. I don't even like talking about it, to be honest. Okay, I guess I did start with these. I've got, looks like 6 tabs open. I'm going to go over these and start doing some headlines and get the hell out of here for the week. It's just frustrating, you know? The whole damn ball of wax. Oh, by the way, I was going to mention this and I forgot. I am up there. I'm using the EcoFlow, what do they call it? The vacuum, I don't know what they call it. Vacuum something. It's a mug, tumbler, whatever the hell, thermos, whatever you want to call it. It's just one of those like double wall vacuum can, you know. Anyway, So I'm checking it out, and I'll tell you what. For one, it's kind of cool. I didn't realize this earlier, and I did this to myself. Didn't even realize it. You got the lid closed, and you pull down on the little button here, and it locks it, so you won't accidentally open it. So that's kind of cool. Not necessarily when you don't realize you did it and you're trying to figure out how to get the damn thing open. But anyway, once you figure it out, it's a cool feature. And it's this thing, I'll tell you what. The coffee that's in it will burn the hell out of you. It keeps it hot. I thought I read something 10 to 12 hours or something on that. I'm going to give it the test. I think I've got enough coffee in there, and I made sure that the pot was on so it would stay hot. So after the show, I'm going to fill this thing back up and just let it sit on the counter overnight and check it out in the morning. So I don't know. It seems to me like it's a pretty damn kick-ass thermos. So this is the one that EcoFlow sent me, and just messing around, checking it out. I like it. I'm not a fan of eggshell color, but it's all good. There might be some morning I wake up and feel eggshell. I don't know. It's possible, I guess. Let's see. Hey, if some cat can wake up in the morning and think they're a different sex, hell, I might like eggshell color some morning. Who knows? NATO blasted for comparing Ukraine conflict to Star Wars and Harry Potter. You know, it's pretty damn bad when it's pretty damn bad when I rail against people that will talk about prepping and use movies, TV series, because I'm telling you, but now we have governmental organizations that are, well, let me read the article. NATO produced a bizarre Twitter thread likening the ongoing hostilities between Ukraine and Russia to pop fiction sagas like Harry Potter and Star Wars on Thursday. The thread, posted on the official Twitter account of the military bloc, highlighted an interview with Ukrainian soldier that was released a week ago. The tweets included quotes from the article, accompanied by an assortment of wartime photos, including the ill-fated quote by the soldier. "We are Harry Potter and William Wallace, the Navi, I guess, and Han Solo. We're escaping from Shawshank and blowing up the Death Star. We are fighting with the Harkonnens and challenging Thanos," the serviceman said. I don't, honestly, you guys probably think this is stupid, nuts, crazy. I haven't watched Harry Potter. I have no freaking clue who William Wallace is. Navi, if I'm even, I know who Han Solo is, but I've honestly never watched Star Wars. Not a single one of them. I'm not interested. No, thank you. I don't know. That's the way I've always been. I'm not a super big entertainment person. Movies, TV shows, stuff like that. And what a lot of people consider popular pop culture stuff, I don't like it. I don't know. I don't know. The bizarre reference in the thread as a whole promptly went viral, with social media users flocking to NATO's feed to share their opinions on the article. All in all, reactions appeared to be overwhelmingly negative, with critics condemning the bad taste of such references. Political and cultural commentator Ian Miles Cheong, for instance, wrote that Russia should win this for the tweet alone. Another user said he thought the U.S.-led bloc was a serious organization, apparently implying that the thread proves otherwise. Some slam the references as of extremely poor taste given the vast scale of the ongoing hostilities and accuse the alliance of generally romanticizing war. Others perceive the thread as an attempt to better connect with younger audiences, stating that it had clearly fallen flat. Well, romanticizing war, you've got a president of a nation that's supposed to be an embattled nation that's going out on multiple photo shoots. I mean, I joke around about when he's going to drop the mixtape, but it wouldn't really shock me. It really wouldn't shock me if he dropped a mixtape and if he starred in a movie. That stuff wouldn't shock me. This is weird. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah, I have no idea, and like I said, I don't know who the one is. I have no clue. The William whatever. William Wallace. That doesn't ring a bell. Anyway, this is what gets me. This is the Western nations. It's insane. It's not a good feeling to know that not just our own government, but much of what's considered the West have all got something in their drinking water. They're not right in the head. And it's almost like these Western nations are trying to push their absolute lunacy on everyone. It's like every country, every continent, every strip of land on the planet has to go by their insane ideology. And it's the same ideology. They're pushing it everywhere. The CRT, all the nonsense. They're pushing it everywhere. It's not just the United States. It is everywhere. What's happening is global. And that's what's horrifying to me about it. It's global. You gotta be real easy, because damn, that's hot. Now NATO issues a China warning. The same ones that are talking Harry Potter and Star Wars are now gonna warn China. What are they gonna do? Threaten them with a game of, what is it? Help me out here. Is it Quidditch? Quidditch? Something like that? The stupid little flying ball thing? I don't know. I've never seen the movie. But I picked that much up from a commercial. Anyway, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has claimed that China is preparing to step up its support for Russia, saying the People's Republic may seek to back Moscow efforts in Ukraine. Beijing rejected the charge, calling it groundless speculation. Speaking to the Associated Press for an interview on Wednesday, Stoltenberg was asked whether the U.S.-led military bloc had seen any indication that China might provide weapons or other assistance to Russia. We have seen some signs that they may be planning for that, and of course NATO allies, the United States, have been warning against it because this is something that should not happen, he said, insisting Beijing must not take any role in the conflict in Ukraine. The NATO chief went on to argue that the alliance is no party to the hostilities, even while stressing that it will support Kiev for as long as it takes in order to ensure that Ukraine prevails. China was quick to respond to Stoltenberg's comments, with Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin stating that his country stands on the side of peace regarding Ukraine, while accusing the NATO head of smears and groundless speculation. That goes into what's all going on, but this is stupid. I don't know, and I still beg the question if this isn't all just a circus sideshow for us. Because it doesn't make any damn sense. Not even a little bit. Not even the smallest little bit. It doesn't make any sense that a country with an obviously weakened military, with all kinds of obvious other issues, would be trying to take on the two other major world superpowers at the same time, while making sure that they funnel enough fuel out of the United States and weapons out of the United States to deplete our stockpiles for the time when we're going to need them. It's really, 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 really hard for me to believe that that could happen any way other than just plain old on purpose. And well, if they're doing it on purpose, I don't think they're doing it because they're that negligent. Nah, come on. Biden's not the one making these decisions. Biden's just the puppet that has his name on the door. He's not the one making the decisions. No one in our government makes the decisions. It's not how this works. That's why the vote doesn't matter, and the vote hasn't mattered for a long damn time. Until we realize that, and realize that our fight is not at a ballot box, it'll never change. But it'll never change until we realize that we're going to have to do something called sacrifice in order to get our freedom back. It's the only way it's coming back. It's going to take sacrifice. That's all there is to it. The only way that you can win against the system is not to take part in the system. Period. There are games that are so rigged, the only way you win is by not playing them at all. Ever been married? I halfway mean that as a joke. Kinda. Not much. Yeah. Anyway, I digress maybe a little bit. No, I don't. Anyway, let me move on before I cause a ruckus. Kind of a cool picture. That's why I chose it for the thumbnail. I mean, they're kind of cute and all with their camouflage masks, don't you think? Because, you know. Now, I hope that they've come up with some type of layer to put over their armor plate. Because, okay, good deal. You've got the masks, so you're not going to catch COVID that way. But what if somebody shoots a bullet, and as it's traveling through the air, passes through the particles that somebody sneezes, and the bullet gets COVID on it, and hits the soldier? Then what? I think I would feel much more comfortable if the soldiers were wearing full body condoms. Yeah, let's get on that. Full body condoms for everybody on the front line. There we go. That'll work. Damn it, I'm going to cause a ruckus. U.S. quadrupling the amount of body condoms. The number of troops in Taiwan, says Wall Street Journal. It's supposed to be a serious article. Try to be serious. Washington is planning to send between 100 and 200 troops to Taiwan in the coming months, the Wall Street Journal reported on Thursday, citing anonymous officials. This is actually a pretty big deal. The personnel will be tasked with training the Taiwanese military against what was described as a rising threat from China. Yeah, but they say that about everything. Aren't the sea levels rising too? The deployment will more than quadruple the U.S. military presence on the island, according to the journal. According to the Pentagon's Defense Manpower Data Center, there were 23 American soldiers in Taiwan as of autumn 2022. These Americans have been acting as advisors and trainers for the U.S. weapons and equipment sent to Taipei. The new troops will also train the Taiwanese in tactics to protect against a potential Chinese offensive, according to unnamed U.S. officials. There were also Taiwanese troops in the U.S., with a contingent training alongside the Michigan National Guard in the north of that state, the journal reported. When reached for comment, the Pentagon said only that the U.S. commitment to Taiwan is rock solid. Pardon me. We don't have a comment on specific operations, engagements, or training, but I would highlight that our support for and defense relationship with Taiwan remains aligned against the current threat posed by the People's Republic of China, Army Lieutenant Colonel Marty Miners, I guess it's probably Miners, a Pentagon spokesman told the journal. Don't you mean spokesperson? The expanded training is intended to thwart it didn't list his pronouns, so I couldn't address him that way, but Mr. Lieutenant Colonel Marty Miners, spokesperson. It's important. Starting to get offended over here. The expanded training is intended to thwart a possible invasion by China. Did I just read that? No. And has been planned for months, long before this month's incident with the Chinese spy balloon, officials who spoke to the journal said. They also don't believe it amounts to anywhere close to a tipping point for Beijing. One of the difficult things to determine is what really is objectionable to China, one official said. I don't know. The idea of just sending troops over there and sending more over there and sending more just to poke them to see? Probably not the smartest of plans. China has repeatedly warned the U.S. against arming Taiwan and warned Washington to abide by the treaties and agreements governing their relationship. The U.S., same thing like Russia wanted. The U.S. used to recognize Taipei as the Republic of China, but switched to the recognition of Beijing in 1978, adopting a one-China policy. The rest, it goes into history and stuff, but yeah. We're marching that direction as well as, But wait, there's more. China takes American hegemony head on. Now, this is an op-ed. I normally don't share out op-eds, but it states right here in a rare scathing essay, Beijing's foreign ministry has blasted Washington's every effort. Now, is it really an op-ed if it's the foreign ministry writing it? that's why I shared this. I didn't really honestly feel like this was an op-ed. Anyway, let me read a little bit. It says the Chinese Foreign Ministry has published an essay titled U.S. Hegemony and Its Perils, a scathing attack on the United States and its attempts to effectively rule the world. The essay, not talking about, a person from Mexico, but the essay was widely shared throughout Chinese state media outlets and was probably the harshest thing they've ever published, at least as far as Washington is concerned. It coincides with Russian President Vladimir Putin's recent address and attacks the U.S. across a broad spectrum of topics, outlining Washington's multi-pronged efforts to achieve and maintain exclusive dominance over the entire planet. This includes military action such as Iraq and Afghanistan, as well as interference in internal political affairs of countries in the form of coups and revolutions. Sounds pretty accurate to me. The essay discussed the Arab Spring, U.S. interference in Latin America, including the CIA coup in Chile, and attempts to undermine the government of Cuba and Venezuela, and the number of color revolutions in former Soviet states such as Ukraine, Georgia, Kazakhstan. Went on to condemn how Washington weaponizes the subject of democracy and forces countries to take sides, branded the U.S. a country characterized by violence and expansion that crushes its opponents with sanctions and economic coercion, and claimed the U.S. dollar of being the main source of instability and uncertainty in the world economy. Now, I know that's a mouthful, but it's a pretty damned accurate mouthful. That's the concerning thing about this. It would be one thing if I could sit here and I could tell you, yeah, look at this propaganda, look at this nonsense that China's putting out. But I can't, because they're calling it on the nose. They're calling it on the nose. And that has to be the most damned unsettling feeling as an American. I mean, it's not like I got a problem with China being right. That's not the issue. The issue is that they are right and that our country has slid that far. I'm not against any other nation. I don't think any nation should be climbing to the top of a ladder. I'm pretty sure that we can all just live here and get along. I'm pretty sure that we could work with one another, and I'm pretty sure that we could resolve most of the issues if we tried. Seems as if, and always has been, government is the problem. Always. Always. The people, as long as you truly make them accountable for their actions, will think about their actions before they take them. Right? Government steps in between you and being made whole. There's a reason it's in the Bible. There's a reason it's in there the way it is in there. Anywho. Crazy times. Now this story, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. This was, I believe I talked about it yesterday. This is the guy that apparently was auto-suicided, Arkin-suicided, Clinton-sided. There's many names for it these days because there's so many damn bodies. Anyway, now, all of a sudden, it's coming out, oh, there was a gun. Yeah, it was 30 feet. The gun was 30 feet. It was determined that it was the blat, right? That that when he shot himself in the chest after hanging himself with the extension cord or some craziness like that, then, he shot the gun and it flew 30 feet after it blew his chest out. And he hung to death. I'm disappointed in the guy. Like I said yesterday, it's kind of bullshit. That's a lot of work for the cleanup lady. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work. Be a little more respectable. If you're going to take yourself out and you're going to be messy about it, then at least put yourself in a duffel bag, zip it up, and lock it like a respectable corpse. I mean, sounds crazy, but if you don't know, there's actually a case where somebody was found dismembered, locked inside of a duffel bag, and it was ruled suicide. So, it might have been one of the Clinton bodies. I don't know. I think it was. Yeah. Crazy. Other than this, not going to spend a lot. Talked earlier about the financial situation. I should have probably brought this up then, but the Fed is warning about more rate hikes, and of course, if the rate hikes happen, we're in some bad shape. We're economic. I mean, we're it's kind of weird to even talk about, because using any common sense, we're beyond done and have been beyond done for a very long time. But you can't use common sense because they don't use common sense. You're playing a game where they make up the rules, they make up the numbers. And like I've said many times before, the economy will fall when they're ready for it to fall. Now, could there be outside factors? Oh, well, hell yeah, there could be outside factors. If we went to war with Russia and China, yeah, it's definitely going to make it fall a lot quicker. Even though they are currently underway of sidestepping using the same systems that we do, in other words, the SWIFT systems and stuff like that, the more that they are getting their own networks expanded, and more countries are joining all the time. I cover it in the news all the time. They're joining I don't know what term to call it, payment gateways, financial systems. I don't know exactly the right term. But we're in trouble. And if that happens, like I'm talking war, what have you, if that happens, I don't know how much more control they actually would have over it. I don't know if they could keep it. I don't know if they could keep it going then. As it is, they just print more damn money. But you go taking those other nations out, I don't know. Financial has never been an area that I've been into. I've never had money. I had a little bit of money here and there in my life, I've been up and I've been down, but I've never had the kind of money that, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go invest. I never had no investment damn money, that's for sure. Shit's too rich for my blood. No. And I say that, but it's all about priorities. So, the $50 I spent for the bag of weed could have probably went to an investment somewhere. Which one would have been smarter, the bag of weed or the investment? I'm going to go with the bag of weed. Anyway, That's why I'm not an investor. I'm a pothead. Ah. Damn it, man. It did ruin my life. It stole my opportunity. I want reparations from the first dude that got me high. I won't say his last name, but damn it, Eric. Want my reparations, man. And my hair back that you shaved off with the ice scraper. I want that back too. It was an interesting night. Anyway, let me continue. Got the headlines here. Gonna run to them, run out the door, and... Nah, I'm not gonna run out the door. It's wet out there. AI images lose copyright protection, which I am good with that. I am good with that. That was something I thought about. You know, is that even right for somebody to create art or for somebody to create music or create poetry or whatever using AI and then turn around and publish it as their own and make money from it? You know, nah, that to me, no. Anyway, U.S. and, well, this is what I talked about earlier with the video earlier. U.S. environmental responders die en route to factory blast site. I made that video earlier. I'm not a happy camper. I just don't think it's cool to stand on the backs of the dead to try to push an agenda. It's nonsense. EU countries' imports from Russia hit record high. German inflation pushes higher, says a report. Hungary blames U.S. for European decline, says media. Journalist killed while covering homicide investigation. Pretty crazy. I think there was somebody that was killed at the location, and the journalist was there, if I understand this correctly. And I think there was an 8-year-old girl there too that was shot as well at the same time the journalist was there. Russia sets date for historic space mission. U.S. Oh, I covered that. Let's see. NATO member ends secret mission in Ukraine. Israel, and by the way, since they announced it, it's not a secret. Israel unleashes airstrikes on Gaza. Official rebuffs claim about explosions near Europe's biggest nuclear plant. Gulf state to join top 20 Russian economic partners, says an official. Let's see. Russian warplane crashes near Ukrainian border. U.S. directs global pressure campaign at China, says Politico. EU won't fine banks for failing to reveal Russian assets, says Politico. Crimean bridge repairs completed ahead of schedule, says an official. NATO country snubs Ukraine weapons request. Musk accuses top U.S. official of pushing war in Ukraine. British supermarkets begin rationing vegetables. I mentioned that earlier. Helicopter with Iranian sports minister crashes. European Commission bans TikTok. I thought that was interesting. I don't know what the hell we're doing over here. I mean, and just to know what's going on with TikTok alone is so disturbing. our children, by the use of algorithms, are being heavily encouraged to involve themselves with very negative, very bad lifestyles and activities. It's insane. And from my understanding, if this is correct, and if it's not, then I apologize. I don't know. There's no way for me to know for sure. But supposedly, their version of TikTok over there, meaning China, completely different. It's about being happy. It's about being joyful. It's about being to learn, encourages learning, encourages all kinds of good stuff. But our TikTok, no. They're going to come up with the next damn stupid challenge. Who knows what it'll be? How many kids will be hurt? How many kids will die? That's what we get. But you know what? We are allowing it. What do you mean we're allowing it? We're not allowing it. The government's allowing it. Bullshit. It shouldn't be up to the government whether or not your child has TikTok on their mobile device. Be a parent, not a best friend. Frickin' ridiculous. We can't step into the mud puddle knowing the mud puddle is there, looking at it as we put our foot in it, and then decry we're victim because there was a pothole in the street. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Man. All they had to do to destroy us was feed into every negative desire that humans have. Humans are very lustful, not just sexually, but in all kinds of ways. Humans have a lust for violence. They have a lust for domination. We're animals. Plain and simple, we're animals. Just like a lion, just like a tiger, elephants, we're animals. And down to our very prime instincts is violence, is war. All they have to do is feed into the human desire, and we will destroy ourselves. They don't have to do anything else. They just have to make it legal to destroy ourselves, and they help out by promoting it as well. Anyway, let me go ahead and look over. I'm having a hard time reading that over there. Asking about the flag flying. Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, I thought they've already done that stuff. Oh, you're talking about here? Well, you might be talking about here. Will the Ukraine flag wavers here in the United States, will they be ready if there's a... Well, hell no. Hell no. Because the idiots here in the United States that support this, right, it's going to be mainly people on the left, and I hate to do that, but it's just the truth. Hell no. You kidding me? They ain't got enough Starbucks over there. Are you freaking kidding me? Have their grande latte bullshit. They ain't got that over there. Hell no. But you got to go fight the war for them. That's how that works. You know, these are the same eco-activists that start crying if you tell them that they got to give up their iPhone because that contributed to the pollution on the planet. Oh no, I gotta have it. Right? It's all a game. It's that's why I'm so frustrated with society. It's all a game. Unbelievable. Anyway, I keep finding those squirrels. Let's see. EU's energy war with Russia is not over, says the IEA. E-I-E-I-O. Ukraine now a battle of logistics, says NATO chief. Broadcaster sacks host after external influence probe. That's better than an internal influence probe, because if you have an internal influence probe, you know you've been screwed. Anyway, let's see. Police change story on... I covered that. Ukrainian FM dodges question on strikes deep into Russia. Former Trump aide hit with a lawsuit. Steve Bannon. ISIS women force boys to impregnate them, says the media. And I sent in for an application. We'll see. I'll send in my resume. Sorry, it's probably not supposed to be funny. Russia-EU relations no longer exist, says Moscow. Disgraced Biden official. Now, come on. How are we supposed to know anything that way? I mean, how many damn disgraced Biden officials have there been by now? This could be any number of them. Just the fact that this one is in trouble for stealing clothes, that just narrows it down a little bit. Anyway, West races to procure Soviet arms, says media. Possible cause of Ohio train crash revealed. I thought we already knew that a while ago, a bearing. At least that's what I heard. Ukraine demands Germany cross all weapons red lines. I thought that was insane. U.S. expands probe of cancer risks at ICBM bases. Well, see, maybe that's what China was doing when they were flying the balloon over. Maybe that's all they were doing. They were trying to help you out. Trying to probe the cancer risks at the bases. Maybe that's what they were doing. R&B legend sentenced in child porn case. I think he got 20 years. Be R. Kelly. Seymour Hersh explains why the U.S. blew up Nord Stream. Because we're mean? Bad? Oh, no, because we got a senile old president that pushed the wrong frickin' button. NATO blasted for comparing Ukraine conflict. Oh, I covered that. See, I crack a joke and then I just go on and I, screw up every time. Harvey Weinstein, I don't know, it depends. It's changed, though. There's the whole damn Mandela thing went on, and it went from Weinstein to Weinstein, and now he doesn't have a bunch of kids' books. I know I read his kids' books. I sat on his lap and read... No, I'm kidding. He got another prison term. I am so going to hell, maybe. China takes American... Oh, I covered that one too. See, every time I cut a joke, I screw up afterwards. Usually the jokes are screw up too, but that, it is what it is. And this came out. U.S. lawmaker demands Syria troop withdrawal. Fun. There, it's out. I poked it out. It's on the interwebs. And with that, I am going to make like a tree and leave. And God willing, I will see all you cats on Sunday night. Hopefully we don't start glowing before then. Anyway, I do hope you all have a good weekend. I do hope to see you all on Sunday. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.